Hello, friends. Welcome to your yoga mat. Today, we get to do a yoga practice where we kind of think about our patterns. And yoga is a perfect place to kind of think about this because most of what you do in yoga is something you've already done, right? We put it in different orders and different sequences, but most of it, we've done it before. And what I read recently in a book talked about the fact that we don't live a life, we live a pattern. And Dr. Joe Dispenza says by the time we are 35 years old, 95% of what we do is a memorized state of being. And you're like, I do not repeat stuff that much. But think about it, like everything we do, brushing our teeth, getting up, getting dressed, driving our car, all of those things we've learned. So in our brain, it is a memorized state of being, it's a habit. Now, what's exciting about this is the fact that habits can support us and habits at times can deplete us. And sometimes a habit maybe that once did support us can also change. And so having a yoga practice or any kind of contemplative practice where we're at least aware of that is really important. So the key to starting to shift and change any kind of habit is to try and release any kind of judgment. And it's from that space that this awakening of self discovery can begin to happen. So, as we practice today, I want you to just pay attention. And I've been paying attention as I've been kind of thinking about this class for us, is the way even I move my body, how it just sort of kind of goes into a pose, how it always goes into a pose. And so, just kind of playing with it a little bit more, playing with the familiar into a little bit of an unfamiliar space. Okay? So let's start kind of unfamiliar. And we're going to start on the belly. Okay? The what? Not child's pose, not seated, not standing. Nope. We're going to start on the belly. So I want you to come onto the belly, fold one hand over the other, and rest your forehead down. Now, in yoga, the front body is known as kind of the self, your little s self. And the back body is what is known as the universal. So something greater than us. So right now, as you lay on the belly, I want you to surrender a little bit more of your front body into the earth, letting Mother Earth kind of hold you. And I want you to breathe a little bit more into your back body. And take a moment and set an intention. What drew you to the mat today? Was it just the pattern and the habit? Or is it because you wanted to? Some of you have heard me say often, we don't have to move our body. You don't have to be on this mat right now. We get to do this. And changing our language is a really powerful habit that we can start to cultivate to begin to shift our life in a really meaningful way. So then let your forehead rest on the ground, and you're going to take your arms overhead. Put the pinkies of your hands down. Turn your thumbs up towards the sky so your shoulders are externally rotated. Good. And if you can, you're going to lift your arms up. You're going to keep the head down, but just lift the arms up so it's like you're making a Y. And then see if you can keep the forehead down and make a W or a cactus shape. So you're going to inhale into the Y. Exhale, W. Inhale. Exhale. So we're activating the back body again. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breathe in. Exhale. Good. Now plant your hands down, tuck your toes, and let's push up to tabletop. Good. Already feeling more awake in that back. And we're going to do cat and cow, but let's reverse the breath just to kind of play around today. So I want you to inhale, round your back. Ooh, that back body. Doesn't that feel good now? And then exhale, melt the belly, lift the heart, gaze forward. Inhale. Exhale. So I don't know if any of you out there have kids or know of any children, but they pick up a lot on what we do. They become little mirrors of the different habits and things that we do. And so this is something powerful we even want to teach kids, is knowing that just because you do something one way, it doesn't make it like the way. Last time, exhaling, arching, inhaling, round. Good. Now exhale, come to a neutral spine. Let's swivel that right shin over to the right 45 degrees. Stretch your left arm up towards the sky. Take the top arm over the ear as you lift your left leg as you breathe in. Try to spin the heel up as high as your pinky toe. And then exhale, bring your knee and your elbow together. Very good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So again, it's not that we're necessarily going to do any different or fancy things today, but just doing the common, but yet feeling it in a new kind of awakened way. Last time. Good. Now reach the arm overhead, the leg back, and do just little pulses of that left leg. Little pulses. Keep your bottom arm straight and strong. That outer left hip is like, hello. Good. Last pulse. Keep the leg steady now. Bend your left knee. Reach back. Left hand, left ankle. Catch the foot. Kick the foot back. Open up the heart. Take your tailbone forward. Carve your right shoulder blade towards your spine. And then see if you can even feel it move a little bit down the back as you open and maybe even lift your gaze. Nice. And then let go. Release. Oop, almost taking out the plant. Exhale. Hand down. All right, switching sides, but before we do that, I just want you to lean a little bit with your hips side to side. I was doing this in a practice yesterday, and this simple movement in my body, and I hope for you too, I get the greatest outer hip release. So just let those hips sway side to side. Whew. Okay, and then come back to center. All right, we're going to switch sides. Left leg. You're going to take your left shin, swivel it to the left. Reach your right arm up to the sky. Breathe in. And then take the arm over the ear as you lift your left leg. Now take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, knee and elbow come together. Inhale. Exhale. Now for me, what happens is my toes tend to turn up, so I really have to be conscious of internally rotating the leg and keeping the hip more neutral. So keep going. So in order to change any kind of habit, we first have to have the awareness of what we're doing in the moment. And you'll find them when your partner says to you, I know you're going to always say this, or, right? Those are moments where you're like, okay, I clearly always respond in the same way. Last time, take the arm forward, leg back, little pulses. Whoo! Other people feel this too. You're feeling, you're not alone. Okay, keep the leg steady, bend the knee, reach back, catch the outer ankle, kick the foot back into the hand, open up the chest. Maybe you start to curl back through the head, lifting the gaze, keep the bottom arm straight. And then with control, draw your ribs in, extend the leg back, reach the arm over. Exhale, hand to the ground, knee to the ground. And again, hips sway. So maybe you even just sort of keep them on one side if it feels good for a moment. You try not to rush it. Side to side. Good. And then back to center. Let's tuck those toes. Take the hips to the heels. Downward facing dog. Hips to the sky.
As you exhale, I want you to bend your right knee and sink your left heel to the floor. Straighten both your legs or keep a bit of a micro bend. And then right heel to the floor, bend your left knee. Inhale. Bend right knee. Sink left heel. One more time. Exhale. Good. Inhale. I want you to spin your left foot like you're doing a warrior one. So the heel goes down to the ground. You're going to kind of get into that the outer leg a little more. Your right knee is bent at the moment, but there's pretty much no weight in this right foot. Now see if you can just pick that leg, the right one, up until it's parallel to the floor. Just feel that movement. And then set that right foot down. Mary Poppins your feet, and then let the right heel stay. Bend your left knee. Right foot is in a warrior one. Keep pushing down and forward with those hands, and then left leg, lift it so it's parallel to the floor. And set the foot down. Lift both heels up. Breathe in, lift your heels. Slowly walk forward towards the top of your mat as you exhale. Put a nice little generous bend in your knees, bend opposite elbows, and take ragdoll. Sway it out. And then let your hands go. Breathe in. Even here, right? How many times do we do a half lift? Like a bajillion if you do vinyasa flow. Exhale, fold. Now notice where your body naturally goes. Is that where it feels good? Or could you go a little deeper today? Reverse your swan dive. Inhale, rise. Come all the way up to standing. Good. And then hands come to the heart space. Now we're going to take some sun salutes. Nothing fancy. Surya A's. But I want you to see if you can really be conscious of the breath leading the movement, not the body leading you. And seeing if you can, even though it's a habit, you're taking mindful movement as you go. So arms release by your sides. Inhale, reach up. Forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Plant your hands. Maybe the first one you step back and you're noticing which foot you stepped back with. Pause in your plank. Take an extra breath. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog cobra. Breathe in. Soften the shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, back downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Release the breath and empty it out. Lift your heels. Inhale. Bend your knees, look forward, step or float. Think of your hips rising as you jump. If you jump, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, refold, fingertips by toes. Reverse your swan dive, breathe in. Fold back down, exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Again, step back. I'm going to take my other foot, so I just step each side. Those of you jumping, you can jump. Chaturanga. Up dog cobra. Exhale, down dog. Breath in. Breath out. Lift your heels. Inhale. Bend your knees. Look forward. Step or float. Lengthen. And bow. Reverse. Inhale. Fold back down. Exhale. We've got two more. Breathing in. Step or float. Chaturanga. Heart forward, legs back. Inhale, up dog cobra. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. One full breath. Breathe in. And let it go. So you can see how this is a memorized behavior, right? Breathe in. Bend your knees, step for float, top of the mat. Lengthen. Bow. Reverse. Inhale. One more time. Exhale. Just caught my toes gripping there. Inhale. Lengthen. Maybe release your toes. Exhale. Step or float. Inhale. Up dog cobra. So when I jump chaturanga, exhale, back down dog. Now we're going to take 3 to 5 breaths here. What I find is sometimes if I jump chaturanga, I'll rush coming into my up dog cobra. So when you jump, a lot of us, we're going to have to stay in that chaturanga a little longer to really let the whole breath exhale and empty out so we don't rush into the up dog cobra. One more breath. Breathe in. You're doing great. Exhale. Breathe out. Lift your heels. Inhale. Bend your knees. Look forward. Step or float. Top of your mat. And you don't always have to jump, right? You can absolutely step. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. Fold and bow. Now let's bring our big toes together, our inner heels a little bit apart. Bend your knees. Sink your hips. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Hands to prayer at your heart. Sink a little deeper. Push up to Tadasana. Breathe in. And now exhale, chair pose. Hands to heart. Good. Now start to move some energy. Breathe in. Open up. Maybe kind of Y those arms again. Exhale. Inhale. Now W your arms, chair. Inhale, Y. Stand. Exhale. 3 more. Breathe in. Can you sink a little lower in the legs? Exhale. Wiggle those toes. Last one. Exhale. Stay here. Inhale, hands to your heart. I already noticed the back body a little more awake now. Left elbow, bring it to the outside of your right leg. Chair twist. Good. Revolving the belly to the right. Back to chair. Second side, exhale. Twist to the left. Thumbs again coming towards your sternum. Feel your feet maybe. What do you notice about your feet? What's amazing about awareness is wherever you put it is where your attention goes, right? So knowing that, how empowering that is, inhale, chair, to be able to shift habits and perception. Exhale, swan dive. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step to plank, yogis. Step to plank. Pause in your plank. Breathe in. Now, did you pay attention to which leg stepped back? Sometimes if we're not paying attention, your body is your unconscious mind. It'll do things and you don't have to think about it, right? Because 95% of what we do is a memorized state of being and doing and feeling even. Let's lower all the way to the belly. Exhale. Now we're going to stretch our arms out. You're coming back to the Y. I want you to turn your thumbs up. This time we're going to be lifting the head. The feet will still stay down. If this is too much, keep the forehead down. So inhale, lift the head and chest. You won't come up necessarily that high. And then exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, reach. Exhale, W. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. And you're going to notice it's harder to breathe here. You're not doing anything wrong. It just is. Last time, breathe in. Hold the shoulder blades on the back, but keep breathing. Push the tops of your feet down into the floor. See if you can come up a little higher. Good. And then hands by your sides. Tuck your toes, gaze down towards the floor. Push up through tabletop or plank. And exhale. Oh, good. Good night. And it's day. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Didn't that used to be a thing? People used to say, oh, good night. Maybe I'm not using it correctly. Comment below. Okay, remember how we spun into Warrior One earlier? Walk your hands a hair closer to your feet, just a hair. Left heel sealing down like Warrior One. Now put your weight in your right hand and take your left hand back and see if you can hold the calf or the ankle, the back of the ankle, the back of the leg. Now just have a little fun with this. If it's too much, you're just going to keep left hand on the ground, okay? Right leg. Lift it parallel, or it even could go a little bit higher, but it doesn't need to go that high. Playing around here with a little bit of balance. And then left hand back to the ground. Right foot's going to step forward and through. Crescent pose. Inhale, come on up. Separate your feet. Grab the railing if you need it, or the wall. Reach the arms up. Inhale. Now straighten that front leg. Bring your arms by your sides. Exhale. Good.
Inhale. Now, as you know, you're only here for a moment, a breath. Maybe you don't know, I just told you, but exhale, straighten the leg, which means as you go into crescent, really feel the crescent. Bend into the leg. Maybe wiggle that back foot back. Get a little lower. Yes, exhale. Last time, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Come into crescent, inhale. Airplane your arms, exhale, heart forward, fingertips back. Triangle pose, spin left heel to ground, straighten your right leg and sweep your right hand to your right shin, left arm to sky. Stay for a breath or two. Inhale, squeeze your feet together, come up, goddess pose. Turn your palms up, heels in, toes out. Hug your shoulders on your back, your shoulder blades on your back, by bending your elbows just a little bit. Lift your low belly. Sink a little deeper. Good. Now bring your right forearm on your right thigh, left arm over the ear. Inhale. Exhale back to center. Good. I'm keeping that little bend. Inhale, left forearm, left thigh. And center. Inhale, one more each side. Center. Left forearm, left thigh. Center. Good. Spin your right toes back to the front of your mat. Side angle, right hand to the ground or to your forearm to your thigh. Left arm stretches over your ear. Good. Right hand can be on the inside or the outside of your front leg. Take your left inner thigh back, carve your outer right hip under, and turn your low belly. Good. Skandasana now. Heels in, toes out. Bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Now, if you're working with a knee injury, you're just going to be a little higher here, toes up. That's the way. Good. Take another breath. Now we get to spin to the back of the mat, just for funsies. Rotate around, coming to a low lunge. Let's add a twist in, right hand down, left arm to sky. Keep the back leg nice and strong and straight. Top hand down, breathe in, plank pose. Chaturanga, exhale. Up dog, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Take a breath to recenter yourself. Child's pose anytime you need it. Right foot, you're going to seal it down, warrior one, and your hands are going to walk back just a hair. What is a hair? Like this, that's so small, really, when you think about it. You know what I mean, though, just a really small inch or two. Right hand, reach back. See if you can catch your inner right leg, and left leg is going to start to lift. Now, you may not lift the leg, and that's totally okay. Or you may not even pick the hand up. The hand may stay down. This is not about how high can I lift my left leg. Good, and then let go with the right hand, spin the right heel up, and step left foot forward. Crescent pose, make sure your feet are hip width apart, and rise up, breathe in. Exhale, straighten your front leg, bring your arms by your sides. Keep the belly, the pubic bone lifting up. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, palms forward and back. Couple more, breathe in. Breathe out. Push into that left big toe mound. Squeeze your inner thighs together. So even though you're bending, continue the inner thighs hugging in. Exhale. Last time, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. You're going to bend into crescent. Good. Airplane your arms. Exhale. Lifting the shoulder heads up away from the floor. Even here, lift the low belly. Spin the right heel to the floor. Start to straighten the left leg and glide your left hand to left shin. Sweep your right arm to sky. Trikonasana. Triangle pose. Can we be present in the pattern of the pose and yet feel as though for a moment it's brand new? It's brand new. Goddess pose. Squeeze your feet together. Pull up through that top arm, heels in, toes out. Take your hands onto your thighs and sink into your legs. You can let your shoulders come to towards your ears for this one. And then you're going to dip right shoulder in, turn to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left.
practicing again, once we remove any hint of judgment, changing a habit, inhale, becomes more of an uplifting journey of self discovery. Let's go one more each way because, man, it does feel good. Center and left. Shoulder dips, center. Take your hands to your heart, sink down. Remind yourself, I am strong. What is the language? When you think about self-criticism and doubt, those are habits, those are patterns. And I know none of us want that to be our habit and our pattern. And we can begin to shift that, sink a little lower. Fingertips to the ground the second time. Spin the heels out. Toes point towards the long edge of your mat. Stretch your heart forward. And then put a little bit of a bend in your knees and take your hands behind your back for the shoulder stretch. Stretch your knuckles up and over. Outer shins hugging in and your upper inner thighs are rotating back, getting the length of the spine to come more out of the pelvis to deepen towards your legs, between the legs. Hands down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen. And then we're coming to side angle. Spin back around, right hand down, left arm now sweeping over your ear. Reach. Keep pushing into that back foot. Carving that again, outer right seat under. And then left hand down, low lunge twist. Pivot that back heel up, right arm to the sky. I feel like I missed a skandasana in here somewhere. And I kind of giggle because I feel like the last class or two. Top hand down. Let's take that skandasana. Bend the right knee, heels in, toes out. You know, sometimes we're all human and you just forget. I get in the moment. I'm like, oh, did I do it here? Did I do it there? And I used to really get hard on myself as a teacher. Oh my gosh, I forgot. All right, now we're going to spin around. Back to the front of your mat, low lunge, breathe in, plank pose. But now I'm like, at the end of the day, if that is the worst thing that happens to me, chaturanga, exhale. We got all the poses in. They just were maybe slightly out of our pattern of the first side. Exhale back, downward facing dog. The adaptability, right? That's part of life, is learning how to be adaptable. What happens one day does not always happen the next day. So I actually think now it's kind of good. Like when I forget something, I'm like, Or if it goes out of order, I'm like, That's it. That's just what it is. Let's come down onto the knees. Breathe in. Some of you, and I am type A too, but you're like, You probably went in order and you did it right, and that's all good too. All right, we're going to come up for camel pose. Take your hands to your low back. Squeeze your elbows together. Now, if you have low back sensitivity, I want you to take a block between your inner thighs. Squeeze the elbows together. Keep the tailbone dropping down, and then reach hands back. Catch those heels if you can. I've tucked my toes on the first one. If that's good in your body, you can do that. You also could place a block. I didn't grab one today. You don't need it, but it is helpful. And you could put the block the flat way so that your hands could rest on a block. Try to move the hips forward. So if they're coming back on you, move the hips forward so they're over the knees here. Take the gaze to the sky. Open up the chest. And then slowly come up. Sit back on the heels. Exhale. Or maybe I put that out of order on purpose just to see how did we all respond. Close your eyes for a moment. Turn your palms up. We don't live a life, we live a pattern. How do you feel? What resonates in your body or doesn't as you hear that? And that by the time we're 35, 90 to 95% of what we do is a memorized state of being. Let's do it one more time. Camel pose. Come on up. I'm going to untuck my feet this time. You're welcome to keep them tucked. If you prefer a different back bend, you could do that as well. Groins back, tailbone down, pubic bone lifts. Now, as you reach back, if your heels aren't there when you wave the hand, then I highly recommend you just keep your hands on your low back, lifting the chest. Draw your throat back, chin back. Inhale, come all the way up. Good. Exhale, hands to the ground. Let's take a puppy pose. I'm going to walk my knees back just a little bit, forehead to the floor. And then walk your hands back in, cross your ankles. We're going to come onto the back, okay? So let's come onto our backs. Hugging your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Rocking out side to side. Now I'm going to show you this next movement. You may want to watch first so you can see it, and then you can come into it. So we're going to put right foot on the floor. We're going to come here for a moment to a half happy baby, okay? Your left hand will hold your left foot, so I'm going to just show it quicker here. We're going to switch our hands, and then your right hand is actually going to hold the inside of the foot. You're going to end up straightening this leg, but for a moment, I'm just going to have this right foot on the floor so I can shift my hips a little bit to the left. You're going to come across. We'll end up straightening this right bottom leg, and you're going to kind of stand down on this left foot. This left foot will stand down on this right hand. Now, here's where I want you just to be able to see. Your left arm's going to reach on the diagonal. I'm on the outer edge of my right foot, but some of you might even turn a little more that you're actually on the ball of your right foot. Ooh, almost turning your torso down. Now this knee will start to come down too. I want you to keep it up. So it's going to be a bit of an exploration here to get, this is kind of like a form of a sleeping pigeon. So I actually get more stretch when I'm on the outer edge of my foot than when I'm on the ball of the foot, but I just wanted to show it because for some of you, you may get more the other way. So I like to reach the arm on the diagonal. So let's do this together. Here we go. I'm going to start on the other side. So right leg, let's bring right leg in. Half happy baby pose, and you're welcome to put your left foot on the floor. Right hand's on the outer edge of your right foot. Draw your chin down. I notice that I unconsciously hold tension in my hip crease and my hip flexors here. I have to really remind myself to breathe into that space. And then left hand is going to grab the sole of your right foot. Right arm, reach it on the diagonal behind you and stand down with that right foot onto your left hand. You don't have to weight it a ton, but it's more the left hand is just holding the foot. So I notice the stretch into my piriformis a little bit right through the center of the glute and also into my outer hip. Your body could be different. Now we're going to come back up to to Gomukhasana pose. So come back to center. Keep holding that left hand with the right foot, and now reach up and grab the opposite hand to foot. So right hand is holding left foot, left hand holding right foot. Supta Gomukhasana. And I want you to do a little cat and cow in your Gomukhasana. So I want you to let your heels come more towards your hips and let your back arch. Your knees will move probably away from you a little bit. Inhale. Then exhale, pull your feet up, lift your buttocks up off the ground and round your back more. Just do that one more time. Inhale. They get into the hip in a slightly different way. Exhale. Now find a point where you are noticing some nice stretch. It kind of could be right in between those two. Some of you, it's opening up those feet a little more and drawing them towards your shoulders. Others of you might feel more release if you have your heels closer down towards your hips. You play around. Release your feet, left foot to the floor, cactus your arms. Push down into that left foot. Shift your hips a hair right, and then twist your legs back over to the left. Now, if you want a little IT band stretch, you can straighten, if you like, that top leg. And if you want to hold the foot, you can. I did grab a strap, and here's where you could use it. I didn't have you grab a strap, so No need to go get it right now. Just you can let your foot even rest on the floor. It's just fine here. You don't have to grab the foot. Come back to center, bend that leg. You can recross it if you like. And then uncross your legs, feet to the floor. Let's switch sides. Half happy baby on the left. Right leg can straighten or right foot stays on the floor. I like to put my right hand on my right thigh. And I am mindful, am I doing that just because it's a habit or because it actually helps me anchor my right thigh bone down, my right inner thigh towards the floor? Carve your outer left hip under. And now take your right hand to the inside of the foot and on the sole of the foot and start to help pull. So you're pulling your foot almost like you're trying to move it up towards your right shoulder. It's not going to go that far, but it's going in that direction. And then left arm goes on the diagonal. You can straighten it. Push strongly into your outer right leg. Keep holding onto that left foot and almost feel like you're trying to roll down onto your back again. That's where you're going to feel the stretch, is the polarity of holding onto this foot and your body is turning right. But now imagine that your hips are starting to almost rock back, but you're not going to let go of that foot, that you'd rock back onto your back. Whew. Coming into Supta Gomukhasana, you're already holding your left hand on your right foot. Nope. Your right hand, your right hand on your left foot. You're going to bend your right leg in and then grab the other hand. There's only one other hand and one other foot, so hopefully we will get that right. All right, 2 cat and cows here. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round, pull the feet in. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Now you're finding that point somewhere where you're feeling a nice release. And you'll notice some days it really can take your body some time to release. It's like the first several breaths is just holding on. Sometimes I'll even invite the mantra, release. I'll just remind myself, release. All right, let go of your feet. Right foot to the floor, cactus your arms. Push into that right foot. Shift your hips a hair left. Set the butt back down. And then knees now are going right. I like to either hold my right hand on this outer left leg, or you have the option here if you want. You can straighten your left leg, getting into the IT band. Bend that leg back in. Bring your knees back up to center. Hold on to the front of your shins. Inhale, extend your knees away from you. Exhale, draw your thighs towards you. Do it one more time. Breathe in. Hands right on the tops of the knees. Exhale, bend in. Wrap your forearms around your shins. Curl up into a tiny little ball. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Tighten everything up. And then release. Exhale. Let it all go. Shavasana. Feet turn out, palms turn up. Close your eyes. Scan your body for where there may be a habit of holding tension, or you just in this moment are observing and noticing tension in your body. Release it, let it go. Allow the breath to begin to, on its own now, without trying to control it or force it, to gently soothe your nervous system.
Now I invite you to please stay longer if you have more time. Otherwise, start to wiggle your toes a little bit and gently move your head slightly side to side. And we'll take our arms up over our head as your head becomes still. Maybe point and flex your feet a time or two. Place your feet to the floor. Let's roll to the right side. Use your hands as you bring your body back upright to an easy seat. We think about this contemplation of we don't live a life, we live a pattern. Can we use this as an empowering idea of, can we have the habit and the pattern of self-love? Can we have the habit and the pattern to believe in ourselves more and know that everything in our life is figure outable? That we will get through all of our bad days, and that at the end of the day, we have our own back more than anyone else. As you draw thumbs up to third eye, I appreciate you. I am so honored that you are all here taking this time for yourselves. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you. Mwah. Until next time.